ahead. Or everyone share. Like, I'm just going to stop talking now. It's a conversation. Hey, Victor.
I brought an example of an entrance ticket from a skill we did a while ago. It was main idea. For the entrance ticket, they had to draw main idea graphic organizer and then also explain how that helps you organize your thoughts. Because in my mind, if they could get, wherever they're at with understanding main idea, if they could just get the main idea is up here and you need at least 3 supporting details that all go back, if they could just get that image in their mind of what I'm looking for, I thought that that would be very helpful. So that was our entrance ticket. Then an example of an exit ticket that went with this, I have a meeting and an exceeding. The meeting has the standard at the top and asks them to read the text, draw a main idea graphic organizer, determine the main idea, and support the main idea with key details. And this would be an example of, I did use a ready for passage, but this would be an example of I created my own question or prompt for them based on what I wanted them to know and based upon what the standard said. The exceed asked them to analyze a key detail and explain how it supports the main idea. And then I have the self-check, partner check, and then Mrs. Adams down at the bottom.
How do you manage that self-check, partner check, Mrs. Adams?
With a lot of modeling, I'm going to say that prior to break, we didn't do a whole lot of that, I guess, because we're doing more of testing, I guess, if that makes any sense. But just through a lot of modeling and also letting them know just because you give yourself an E doesn't mean that somebody else is going to give you an E as well. Something that actually Mr. Stanley did was incorporated symbols to go along with each. So if they included so many key details, that gets a certain symbol next to it when they use their own words, when they have the topic sentence, and when they've answered the question, everything gets a different symbol. So
who does that? So you're using kind of like annotation on your success criteria so that kids know they've met that. Do they do that themselves?
Yes. Through modeling, but there's a lot of modeling going on. They're not independent with it yet. There's a lot of, I don't know, they might put an X next to one thing. I'm like, well, you could put another X here. This is another key detail that you've included from the passage. Or you use your own words when you provided the evidence, so now you get a different symbol. Did I answer your
Yes.
I have a question.
Have you modeled this for your staff, Mr. Stanley?
Does it work better?
I think we have modeled it. Didn't we model it one TBT?
We modeled
quickly.
You modeled it for the staff, which is what gave me that idea.
Yeah.
And that definitely helps when they're checking their own work and checking somebody else's, which is not perfect yet.
Yeah.
More modeling within the classroom, for at least for my
I just want to ask a question about the main idea one. Like, what type of different challenges did you see the kids running into with that?
A lot of times, for whatever reason, a lot of the students could get the main idea, but then only maybe one of the key details, or they would have all the key details, but then not be able to hone in on that one, the main idea. So we were on that still for quite a while and tried a variety of different things. Yeah.
Yeah, that does.
Okay.
I was just curious.
My question is, so does it help you sometime to use like some kind of notebook so that they can write today here? You know what I mean? Rather than an independent sheet, which I'm not putting you down for having that independent. But how does it work for them to assess themselves if they have almost like a notebook or a theme book or a writing journal? Have you guys used that at all?
I have mine up here, actually. I don't know. I mean, this is just what Rachel suggested I put together, and I essentially just copied hers. So this is their, at the beginning of the lesson. So like when we introduce the target, that's the same target here, and then they see with the exceed target that they're also going to be working toward, and then they see all the different tries they're going to get in order to get to that. This stays in their data folder, and then as they actually complete each of these assignments, then they're actually filling in these parts. And then sometimes they might have a redemption opportunity, so they might be a D the first time, they put the date next to it, and then the M the second time they'll put the date next to that just to show their growth even within that same try. And you can see here, like this one, they don't even have an opportunity to earn exceeds because this target or this standard is broken down into 2 different targets. So they have to get to both targets before they can get both that standard to exceeding. So they're not keeping necessarily a notebook, which I would love to do. I just haven't been able to get the logistics of that yet.
Right.
But this is kind of like essentially what that does. Is it allows them to keep track of where they're at.